So I think we are still in a domain of basic research. We have to search where the light is, where we have some hypothesis, some idea of how to proceed. And since it's a systemic approach, computational techniques are indispensable. Modeling will be very important. And of course, we must not neglect trying to understand the basic functions of these complex brains. And also there we are far away. Were we able to understand better how the cerebral cortex codes information, how the emotional centers control emotions, we would have a better handle to search in a focused way for disease reasons. But as long as we don't understand the normal functioning sufficiently well, there's no point in trying to go head on and try to solve a clinical problem. I think we need to be humble because we realize more and more how complex the system is, and that it surpasses our imagination. This is a major problem. Our intuition is not shaped to understand how the brain works, because the dynamics there are so highly nonlinear and high-dimensional that we cannot imagine this. We only see the consequences of brain action, and they are low-dimensional. They can be described. I would, of course, be more optimistic if you asked me whether we will be understanding the code for a particular perceptual problem. If this is a well-defined question, we can provide well-defined answers in a reasonable period of time. But the great questions of how the brain creates conscious states and which mechanisms underlie the ability to have a model of the world, including your own self-model. These are all questions that I think are humbling difficult. And also I think in the past, neuroscientists have repeatedly made the mistake, and I will say something about granting agencies, to promise something that they finally could not fulfill. And the reason why this happens, and we are actually forced to do it, is that when we write a grant application, or when we write an application for an animal experiment, in which case we have to go through an ethics committee, we have to provide the ethical justification for what we do. And if we just say we do this because it is a moral obligation to know more about the world as long as we keep acting in this world, with these justifications we would not get a license to do an animal experiment. Rather, we have to say we do it in order to discover something that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow will help cure a disease, will reduce suffering. And this is, of course, in the case of basic research, not what we actually do. If we knew what we would find out tomorrow, we would do bad science. The less we know what we are going to discover, the better is our approach. So this is why I think, experience makes you humble. And as you get older, you ask more global questions. And then this adds to the humbleness.